Hello and good evening to DefiChain Tech Talk on the 16th of September 2021. I'm very happy to be here tonight with DC. I think it's our third show, DC, correct?
Third?
Fourth?
The sixth show.
The sixth Tech
Sixth,
Talk?
or?
No, I mean Tech Talk.
TikTok, okay.
TikTok, Tech Talk.
Yeah, it's the third or fourth.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How are you tonight, first of all?
Fine, just coming from the work. Now we have the Tech Talk, a great week on YouTube. Yeah, and it will be interesting Tech Talk, I think. The topic will be the upcoming Fort Cunning update.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward what U-Zyn and Fushin will tell us regarding what's happening in the background.
Yeah. Really excited about it. We delayed it for 1 week because there's so much good news coming up, and we are very happy to present you the two main actors tonight. So me and DC gonna take a step back, but we're gonna also kind of bridge in the middle between your questions out there later on. But I would say let's welcome the special guests tonight. Very welcome, U-Zyn and Fushin. Thanks for coming in tonight and presenting all the good news of DefiChain. How are you tonight?
Hey, good. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Dizzy. You guys have been having a really crazy week this week. So many shows, having a marathon this week.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. Hey, but so I think it's always one of the real highlights to have you guys back on. And we have a lot of viewers all the time, and everybody is super excited. And yeah, the stage is all yours, guys. I think you've got a lot to talk about. We're gonna take a step back, and you let us know, do you want to be interrupted? Or we do the questions always at the end. We've got 3 parts prepared, I think. And at the end of every part, we're going to do a session, if that's okay for you guys.
Good.
Cool. U-Zyn, then
All right.
It's all yours. Take it away. Thanks for coming again.
All right. Hey, everyone. It's 1 month already. And we have 3 segments today. So we're going to update on Fort Canning, what the team is working on, what is the status now, and what it's going to look like. And the second section, I will also talk a bit on what's coming up after Fort Canning, because it's kind of like we haven't talked about it after that. So let's talk a bit on that as well. And then Fushin will give some updates on the product side for DefiChain. So what the wallets are doing, what can we expect on all the product side. With that, let's get started. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, here we go. Let Lord Mark do the magic.
Here we go.
There we are.
Ooh, voodoo.
All right. Yeah, I guess let's get started, shall we? Okay. So let's start on Fort Canning. So Fort Canning, just a recap on what are we gonna bring for Fort Canning upgrade. So we're gonna have decentralized loan, and we're gonna have tokenized asset, which stocks, commodities, etc. So that's gonna be really exciting. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to that. And auction. So for liquidated asset, you're gonna need an option for that. So it's part of the features of Fort Canning. So these are the major features of Fort Canning. I'm sure everyone's really excited. I myself am really excited about that. Can't wait for it. Some smaller features as well that comes with Fort Canning. So we're gonna have a composite swap. I think some community members are asking about that. So if you want to do from USDT to USDC today, you have to go through 2 pools. You have to make 2 transactions. With Fort Canning, you can do just one. So it's gonna go to 2 pools on the blockchain, but you only have to make 1 transaction. So it's only 1 transaction ID. It's automatically go to 2 pools, and then it will be an input of USDT. You get a USDC out once it gets confirmed. So makes it so much easier and so much cleaner. So this is very helpful for when we have stocks. So you can exchange from stocks to USD and USD to, let's say, like Bitcoin directly in 1 transaction without having to go through all of that manually anymore. And Mastodon improvements, a lot of people has been asking about that. So the first part is reward address enforcement. So I see that there's a lot of non-custody masternode providers out there today. So it's really great that we have that. So what it means that users are pledging your 20K collateral to a provider or to an operator, and then they'll run the masternode for you. But for now, the operator can send a reward technically to any address that he wants. By default, it will send back to you as the owner because that's the default. But then on the blockchain, it doesn't enforce that where can it go. Yeah, so there's been requests from the community members to say that can an owner enforce the destination of the address for that. So yes, so for Fort Canning upgrade, this will be possible. And also with the Jonas Paya with the 5-year and 10-year lockup, it's a long time. So there's been requests from the community on what if the operator that I pledge to go with cease to exist or go away or whatever. So with the operator switch now, you are able to switch away to other operator. You are unable to withdraw your collateral, but you are able to switch the operator address to another address. So this allows you to continue to mine on a different operator or switch it back to yourself if you want to. So yeah, so that will come for Fort Canning. And improve slippage protection for swap. So there has been some bug reports on slippage protection for DeFi chain that's not really working that accurately. So with this, it's fixed now with Fort Canning. So slippage protection will work exactly as what it is. And yeah, and a couple other bugs as well. So anchoring on Bitcoin, currently there is a minimum fee that you have to pay on the Bitcoin side. This is it's a feature that has no use to us to the DeFi chain side. We enforce a minimum amount of Bitcoin that you have to pay for an anchor, but what does it do for us? We're just wasting more Bitcoin to write something on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that is now taken away for Fort Canning. So this means that we will be seeing a lot more anchoring on Bitcoin side with the Fort Canning upgrade. So this is good for us. And the reward works exactly the same. So now you don't have to pay the minimum fee on Bitcoin. Whatever amount that you needed to write on the blockchain, you just do that, and you'll write on the blockchain and you get a reward on the DFI side. So that would be good for us. The second part, refunding of HTLC. So for that is part of the atomic swap implementation. So if you are an active atomic swap user, you're gonna have a lot of contracts open on the HTLC side, and naturally some of them will not go through. If some of them will not go through, then you have to do a refund. So currently you have to keep track of how many really open HTLCs that you have, and you have to call the refund yourself on the Bitcoin side. On the DeFi chain side, it's done automatically because on consensus. As long as the hash unlock contract times out, you don't make refunds. But on the Bitcoin side, you have to claim the refund. So now there's a single call on the Node RPC side where you can just call refund all HTLC, which it will then refund all your expired HTLC to get back your Bitcoin if they don't go through. And you don't have to keep track of HTLC contracts anymore. And the third one is also a bug fix, where currently if you mine a block, it's reported by one of the community members. So currently for DeFi chain blocks that mine, you only get the block reward. You only get the block emission reward. You don't get the fees. So it's a bug that was introduced with Jonas Paya upgrade. So on Fort Canning, this will then be restored. The fees will then be restored. So with Fort Canning upgrade, you will then see block rewards for Masternode will not be like even all the time anymore. So as more transactions are being included, you will get more rewards. Back to the original implementation for that. Yeah, so some timeline. Fort Canning development, it's now concluding. The developers has been working so hard, and now they are coming up to the final stage and concluding the development. So the DevNet upgrade for testing will happen either later this week or early next week. So we will have that upgrade on DevNet, and the testnet upgrade will happen shortly after that. So testnet is a public testnet. DevNet is something that the developers run internally on their own, just a private one, just to see if it works fine. And the testnet is a public one. Once it's worked fine, you will upgrade the testnet, and I'll test around for a week or two. Make sure that everything is safe. Definitely want to make sure that on the blockchain side, when we go mainnet, we want to make sure everything is close to scaling, so there's no stalling, there's no issues with the exchanges or whatever. So we have to make sure that it's safe. So we are planning for a node release. It's going to be version 2.0 around 30th September, around last day of this month, and the mainnet upgrade. So we usually have about 2 weeks of a notice period for mainnet upgrade for all the exchanges and everyone to upgrade on time. So the mainnet upgrade should happen around mid-October. This is all subject to everything goes smoothly as planned. So it's not set in stone, but it's just to give everyone a good idea on when that is coming. So looking forward to that. That is for Fort Canning upgrade. So now let's talk about what's next after Fort Canning. So what's next? So let's talk about what it is today. So today, it's really, really super proud and happy that we have a really, really vibrant user and developer community. And thanks everyone for the active development and learning with whatever tools that you have and whatever libraries that you can find. So many active projects going on, and even the shows that the team is doing, like Mark and DC is doing, is so amazing. There's so many projects are ongoing. So, and this September, around 18 community funding proposal. That's really huge for a project that's quite small. We just started about a year plus, relatively new, and even the API just about to get rolled out without much documentation yet. So we're using so many community development, so that's really, really amazing. And we have Jellyfish and Ocean API that's coming up. It's a really strong library and very properly developed and very clean. So for those of you who tried that out, thanks for trying it out. I'm sure it's clean, but the documentation side, I'm sure it can be improved. There's still a lot of room for improvement on documentation side. So if you do use that library, I would hope that you can also contribute as well. If not on development, at least help on the documentation side, come up with sample apps or anything that you can help the community to build on top of it. So that would be really helpful to grow the developer community. So that's why I start the show with a chat that says developers, because this is what Tech Talk is mainly about. We want to grow the developer community and make sure that more of us can build on it. And there's so many clients, so many libraries available for DefiChain today. We have at least 2 more mobile apps on top of the one that Fusing team works on. There's a lot of libraries and projects that developed by various community members. So it's really exciting, really amazing. So what's next, right? So from the pink paper, we have on-chain governance, which is planned for the G upgrade, which is coming after Fort Canning, so F, and then after followed by G. So ETA for that will be Q4 2021. And on pink paper as well, we have other things that are on there, like native NFT, native future, native option. We haven't set in stone on what are the dates yet, but they will come after the on-chain governance. And I'm looking forward for native future or native option, because one of the challenges that I've been talking to people as well that's going to come up with the stocks is that if you find that a stock is mispriced on DefiChain, you want to arbitrage it. There's no secondary market for you to arbitrage it. So if you have futures, you are able to arbitrage against the future, because future will ensure that the closing price of that will match the asset price. So if it's mispriced, if it's cheaper, the token side, you can buy the token and wait for it to hit the future. Or if it's overpriced, then you can short it and then hit the future. So it will create a natural secondary market on chain already, even without an actual secondary market outside of DeFi chain. So that alone should be quite exciting. On-chain governance is going to be worked on next after Fort Canning. Yeah, hope it's clear here. Yeah, so talk about the DeFi ecosystem in general. So DeFi, I mean, everyone, if we talk to people outside of DeFi chain, we talk about DeFi, usually the first thing they think about is Ethereum. And lately we're hearing about like BSC, Binance Smart Chain, and we're hearing about Polygon, we're hearing about Phantom, we're hearing about Avalanche, and there's a lot of hype around DeFi ecosystem in general. And all of these chains has one thing in common: EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine. So, and Ethereum plus EVM makes a very, very free DeFi ecosystem. So you can see a lot of these blockchains like BSC, they started, I would say, around the time where we started, or maybe even later, I don't know. But okay, definitely Binance is huge, so they get a lot of momentum there. But also another fact is that they are EVM compatible. So with that alone, they get a lot of liquidity flowing over from Ethereum very, very easily. If you have EVM compliance, everything gets connected naturally. So all the tokens can fly around the different chains. For like Avalanche, Polygon, they're pretty new chain, and they get a lot of these fluid from various other EVM compatible chains. And for us, we're pushing for native DeFi, so we're losing out a lot on all these ecosystem in general. So we're pushing for DeFi, native DeFi, for being safe and secure. And we have a Bitcoin bridge, which is also known as Atomic Swap or ICX. So that is live now on DeFi chain. Obviously, the UI is still in the works, and Fuxing will cover that in a bit. And I also seen some users have been using the Bitcoin bridge for some small amount, because it's really tedious to do that manually. But I've seen a lot of active, successful trades already on the Bitcoin bridge. So it is working fine. One thing that we have is we're missing out on a larger DeFi ecosystem, because we are pushing for native DeFi all the time. So I would like to propose, not I, but more like internally we've been talking about it. Also with community members, or some community members know about it already. So it's merely a proposal right now that we wanted to do something called an EVM plus native DeFi to DeFi chain. So obviously it's not up to my call. We have to put up a DFIP. We have to hear the discussions around it. We have to ask for a vote of confidence to see if the Mastodon's owner or if the community are largely okay with it. And right now it's also a perfect time, because the voting round for September just started, so we have a full month to kind of discuss the community for us to like really make this idea really sink in and really solid with the community members, and everyone understands where we're going and everyone's aligned on that. So what does it mean to EVM and native DeFi? So native DeFi, it's a DeFi for Bitcoin. This is always what we're pushing for, a DeFi chain. And EVM, it's basically Ethereum virtual machine. It adds another layer on top of native DeFi, so it brings a lot of benefits. I'm gonna cover that shortly. So native DeFi is what we have right now. We have some primitive functionalities of DeFi today. So it has tokenization, it has DEX, it has loan, it has atomic swap, and a lot more to come, like native future option NFT. So a lot more to come on that. And native DeFi is designed and will continue to be safe and secure, because it has no additional attack surface in that end, because there's no Turing complete language behind it. So EVM is Ethereum virtual machine. It's Turing complete. This is why we've always been saying that EVM is Turing complete and DeFi is non-Turing complete, something like Bitcoin. So it has smart contract capability. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that. It's very flexible, and it opens up even wider developer community when you have that a Turing complete layer where you can build anything on top of it. So what does it mean with EVM plus native DeFi? So native DeFi layer will continue to be non-Turing complete and very, very safe. And EVM provides this extensible layer on top of it for developers amongst us to write smart contracts or even port things that we're now seeing on the wider DeFi community over to DeFiChain and use it on DeFiChain while retaining the Bitcoin base and a native DeFi base. So EVM layer sits on top of native DeFi and interacts with native DeFi through smart contract signed transaction. So it's not a direct link to there's still a degree of separation between both. So native DeFi will need to be secure and doesn't have the full Turing complete part, but as the EVM will sit on top of it, so it runs also smart contracts. So if you want to call this one, the EVM will generate a transaction to be signed by will generate transaction to be executed on the native DeFi layer. Yeah, so why? Yeah, so I'm not sure why the title is why. Okay, so DeFiChain has been evolved from solidifying the wider DeFi smart contracts and prototypes from other protocols over to DefiChain. For example, our DEX it's inspiration from Uniswap. It's not 100% identical, but there's a lot of inspiration from Uniswap in our the decentralized loan that we pushed out. It's inspiration from Maker protocol with the DAI project. It's not 100% identical as well, but we're taking things that are solid from the EVM side, from the Ethereum, from the wider DeFi ecosystem, and then bring it over to native DeFi, and then we build a solid native DeFi on top of it. So we often lag behind the wider DeFi because of this reason, because we always have to see what's happening on the DeFi protocol prototype side, and then we bring it over to native DeFi. But we often also wonder what does it look like if instead of waiting for the wider chain or the wider DeFi community to do something outside of DefiChain, what does it look like if people are able to build directly on DefiChain to innovate on top of what we have on native DeFi? So with this evolution, now we can see what that brings to DefiChain. So what the benefit obviously is the cross-chain support. So it was started with this idea that EVM blockchains are able to cross between one another. So cross-chain support for EVM is going to be huge. So we have Bitcoin Bridge already via atomic swap. So once we have EVM, we can then connect all the EVM blockchains, which means that we can connect ETH, we can connect ERC20 from Ethereum, we can connect BNB from Binance Smart Chain, we can connect the Binance Smart Chain token, BEP20, and much more to DefiChain in a very simple swap. So it's a cross-chain swap. Atomic swap, if you used it, it takes about 20 minutes for it to go through. But on EVM blockchain, if you do a swap, it's just one transaction and done. Yeah. So imagine what this brings, that Tesla token on DefiChain can now be tradable, for example, on PancakeSwap. So, and whatever that we have on a Binance side as well, we can also bring over on the Binance Smart Chain side or on Ethereum Smart Chain or on Avalanche. So all of this is really, really exciting. It connects us to the wider DeFi ecosystem, and we can then tap into all this wider liquidity of DeFi ecosystem and make us part of the whole bigger DeFi family. And so DST, we have DST on DefiChain, DeFi standard token. And on Ethereum side, we have ERC20. On Binance Smart Chain, they call it BEP20. But they're all, I put in quote ERC20 because we're just referring to the same standard to define a token on the EVM layer. So for us, we have EVM layer, we have native DeFi layer. So we're going to connect, if we do this, we're going to connect every single DST will be ERC20 on the EVM side. Every single ERC20 on the EVM side will be DST on the native DeFi side. So you don't have to deal with the swap internally on a DeFi chain. So every single DSC will automatically be ERC20. So this allows you to swap like DFI token directly into other EVM blockchain directly, and you can bring like stocks token. You can bring even like a Bitcoin token or DBTC on DefiChain side as an ERC20 token and bring it out to other blockchains directly already. So this allows the ERC20 of DefiChain to participate directly with the cross-chain swap protocol, like AnySwap connects for the EVM side. So it's going to be really exciting for when this happens. Yeah, I think I've said exciting so many times. So yeah, DefiChain decentralized stocks will be tradable on a greater DeFi ecosystem. Yes, it's going to be possible. So it will open up a lot of possibilities for the stocks token to be usable outside even of DefiChain. And the very same USDC, USDT from Ethereum can now be made available at DefiChain. So we don't need a backed USDC, USDT anymore. We can use the actual one from Ethereum, which is run by these actual companies that run these stable coins. You can bring them over to DefiChain through this swap. And for example, like this is just an example. Like BNB can be tradable to Bitcoin directly through DefiChain. So DefiChain can also act as a gateway for all these EVM to then reach Bitcoin as well. So they can go through BNB over to BNB on DefiChain side, and then to Bitcoin through the DefiChain atomic swap, which is working today. And yeah, so look at what we have today with the limited capability on DefiChain and so vibrant developer community already. So I can't wait to see if we have this virtual machine layer on DefiChain. I'm sure we'll have a lot more exciting projects going to come on DefiChain. So yeah, I can't wait for this to go through and then implement it. It's a huge undertaking for this, and it's a really major change for this because they always push for like Turing complete versus non-Turing complete, and now we're going to be Turing complete plus a non-Turing complete layer. So it's a really major change, and I hope the community will see where this is coming from, because I think it's going to be beneficial for every single DefiChain users and holders. Yeah, we're not going to do away with native DeFi. Native DeFi will continue. I hope it's clear. And what we can now see is that we can build stuff on an EVM layer, and once it's mature, then we can graduate. We can move them over to the native DeFi layer, taking away the smart contract, taking away the Turing complete instruction set, put it as part of the consensus on the native DeFi layer. So it adds a different play to the other to the other DeFi projects out there today. So if we do this, what this looks like on the layer is that we have the EVM on top of on the topmost layer. Obviously, smart contract will be on top of EVM, and below EVM we'll have native DeFi, which is what we have today. And below native DeFi, we have the Nakamoto consensus, which is also known as the Bitcoin consensus. So adds a lot of security. Plus, now we add a lot of flexibility as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be really exciting. I hope everyone's excited for that. Yeah, that's the end of my section. I can take some questions first before we move on to Husseing's one, just to see if there's anything. John, moderate.
Thanks, U-Zyn. Really great. It's amazing, the EVM. Maybe one question from my side directly. Any idea how much effort you have to spend, how long it would take to implement it?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay. No, because it sounds like
I joined yesterday, forgot that. Good question, yeah. How long is this gonna take? It sounds like a big thing, right?
Yeah, it's huge because we have to be backward compatible as well with the current native DeFi. To be honest, I don't know. My guess would probably be, I don't know, within 6 months, maybe. So ideally, if it's possible, we probably started right after Fort Canning, alongside with the G upgrade for on-chain governance. Started alongside with that. We're going to roll out things on the current chain, while there's a separate team that works on the EVM layer to build on top of it. So a lot of tests has to make sure that everything is safe. It's a really, really major upgrade.
Question, U-Zyn, has this been done before, or is this something completely new and something absolutely outstanding, or are there projects out there that do something similar? I think there are a couple of layer 2 solutions out there, but they built maybe not on Bitcoin or not on Bitcoin code. So is there something comparable out there already?
There are some Bitcoin smart contract projects out there. Like the most popular one are Rootstock, and Avalanche, I think, is also built on Bitcoin. So there are some projects that are built on Bitcoin. And also the approach that we're taking as well on this, there's been a couple of chains that switch the direction. For example, I think Binance did something like that. So Binance Smart Chain, they called it something else before that. They did on a different chain, and then they switched over to an Ethereum fork. So what they did is they discontinued. I'm not sure if they discontinued, but they do a token transfer instead. So for us, ideally, we want to maintain the native DeFi. We don't want to throw that away. So we want to maintain backward compatibility. So on that approach, I think we're really unique that we migrate with backward compatibility, and we also retain a native DeFi layer, which I don't think native DeFi layer, I think is pretty unique from what I've seen in. So usually people, there's some projects that do train complete layer on Bitcoin in the past, but non-train complete DeFi, I don't see it yet.
Okay, good.
Okay.
We have a couple of questions that really match the topic very well. Maybe we're gonna put them here. Mark76 asks, U-Zyn, any plans for other wrapping, unwrapping possibilities than Cake? I think that would solve this problem as well, right?
Yes. Yep. So I have two parts to that answer. So the first one is with EVM, we can bring a lot of native token over to DefiChain directly, and we don't need Cake to do to run the backing service anymore. On another part as well, I want to make it clear that Cake is not the only entity that can do that on DefiChain. So if you want to run your token on DefiChain, you can do that. And with on-chain governance, you are able to then also promote your token to be DAT. So we're going to do away with this term, but for now, to promote as DAT through the on-chain governance, get a master to vote, and then become a DAT, and then you can get anyone to use your token. So any single entity can do that on DefiChain. Even for now, you can put up a vote of confidence, and we can vote for it. And if it goes through, then we can also make that happen. But with on-chain governance, all of that can be even more transparent, and anyone can promote the token to be DAT. And if any entity wants to run their own Bitcoin token alongside the current one, the current backed one that Cake facilitates, you can do that, and it will be it's completely fine.
Okay, good. Which one next? DC.
Maybe the one similar one. With the EVM, is it possible to directly send your USDZ and use dollar Tether to, for example, Binance? So not over Cake like today?
Yes, I guess so. Yeah, with EVM layer, yep, you can swap. We definitely got to do a discontinuation of the current backed USDC or the backed USDT with the EVM layer. So I don't know how we'll do it yet, but I'll probably do a swap or something like that. We'll use the actual one, and then it will then be compatible. So you can then go out into Binance Smart Chain and swap it directly there.
Okay. Just to clarify, also from my side, another question here. Not a question, comment.
Yep.
Really great. Yeah. So everyone is now excited, wants it. It will need time, and to be, or to clarify it again, we will vote on this, right? You mentioned it at the beginning. So not in this round, in the next round, there will be a DFIP, and the community has to vote if they want to this feature. It's a lot of effort. And it's a good thing from my personal point of view that you have now shown us before the next round is coming. So we have time to discuss it on Reddit, Telegram, and so on, because a lot of questions are coming up, I think, if the community is thinking about this concept. And we have to discuss it, and we need also your input and answers. It's a big thing.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, we've missed the current round, which is good. Now we have a whole month to discuss about it, and I'm looking forward to all the questions and discussions on that. I'm sure there are some ideas from the community side. I'm sure that I've seen a lot of really, really smart, really, really good developers amongst the community members that come with ideas on how to implement it. So for now, I mean, it's an idea. The core developers has been looking at solutions on how to implement it, but there's nothing concrete yet. I mean, we haven't even, it's just a really early idea that I've talked to also various key committee members. Also, some of you have already known this. I mean, it's not set in stone. Again, I put it on all the slides. So if the committee doesn't want to do it, we want to stay this way, then we will kind of just stay on 85.
Yeah, so I personally find it's an amazing push in a direction that a lot of the blockchain projects are going at the moment, right? Cross-chain compatibility and open to create an open system, not build a big wall around it. And if you say that the security is not going to be jeopardized, then that's an awesome thing, right? And it could mean a massive cash inflow also, what would also mean a price increase most likely, right? And yeah, I think we have to look at it at all angles, but for me at the moment at least, it looks and it sounds really, really amazing and could be a big game changer. We have a lot of positive comments here. I would, I mean, let me just flash a couple of those, and thanks for your feedback out there. But yeah, most of them are really, I mean, I haven't seen any negative one so far. It really needs, somebody says he has to buy more, DFI. It's a good idea. I think that could be a big game changer. So Stefan says, so that's EVM is kind of a beta layer. Is this what we call a layer 2 solution? Is this the word that is used, or is this something kind of different?
No, I think layer 2 solution means something else. Layer 2 solution usually is to go past the scaling problem. Let's say on Ethereum, you will execute on layer 2. For us, it's not layer 2. Everything is still layer 1. So everything is still confirmed at the safest consensus for this. Hey, I'm disappointed, community members. Why is no one making noise that we are switching to train complete? But I'm glad for the support. Thanks.
Could somebody please post the negative comment U-Zyn needs?
Yeah, okay. Maybe these one are now just shocked. Yeah, it's the news. Nobody know it before, and now they are shocked and cannot write. No. I think we have to think over as a community, because it's really a new concept. Never heard before. It was the teaser Mark mentioned. Have a look on the show tomorrow yesterday. We have to think over. I think the Reddit is a good starting point. Maybe someone can make a post, you or from your team, and then we go into it and discuss it.
Okay.
Right, yes. So I want to take one question from.
Yeah, which one?
The latest one from Martin Adrian. So
yes.
So he asked. Yeah. So he asked if will the EVM layer not have the vulnerabilities that we have been criticizing? Yes, that is true. EVM layer will or might have the vulnerabilities that we have been talking about. So that is why we implement. If we do, we're going to do a 2-layer solution. So the DEX and a loan that we already have on native DeFi, we're not going to take that away. We will not move it over to EVM layer. So that stays safe. So the part on the EVM side, it's going to be wide open. You have a lot of attack surface, very wide, and it's very innovative. You can do things with it. At the same time, it's open to a lot of attacks. So yeah, it will be a little bit risky. So once we see things that are good there, then we'll bring it over to the native DeFi layer. Just like what we're doing today, it's just that we're just taking things from the wider DeFi community and bring it over. And now we can bring whatever we have from the DeFiChain layer to the bottom layer.
Okay, let me maybe flash another question here from 77. What is the use for the DFI token with these plans?
Same like today. So it's for you to pay for fees, pay for DeFi usages, and all of that. So if you run instructions on EVM layer, you're going to have to pay gas fee for that, for lack of a better term. Yeah. So same thing.
Okay, cool. Good. I think these were all the questions for the EVM story. There are going to be a couple of other questions. Maybe we can put them to the back of the presentation. What do you think, DC?
Yeah,
guys?
I think we should switch to Fuxing. He's waiting to present
And then we
the
can
updates
do
on the
channel. Yeah.
And then we have a look what the time says.
Excellent. Yeah, fine. Fuxing, you want to go ahead?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
Let me just bring your screen online. Here you go.
Okay, so I think this is my third show. So hello everybody. So again, I'm gonna give a bit of run through about like DefiChain products. I think this month theme will be, especially with the EVM update. I'm pretty excited about that actually. When U-Zyn broke the news to me, I was like heading towards EVM, having our native DeFi as the secure enclave, or running, allowing the developers to build above their native secure enclave. So where are we today, and where are we going for the products? So yeah, this is the topic that I have for today. I think the three general keystones of DefiChain products. We have the Jellyfish ecosystem, we have the DefiScan, we have the DefiChain wallet. So these are the key concentration of the focuses that my team has been focusing on: building up the Jellyfish ecosystem, building up DefiScan, building up the DeFi wallet. But take a step back and understand like, where are we going. So the first thing that I really want to talk about is Jellyfish. So where are we today and where are we going? So Jellyfish itself is sort of an ecosystem project. So Jellyfish provide SDKs, provide tools, provide APIs. The APIs itself powers what we have today, which are the DeFi Lite wallet, the DeFi full node wallet, and the DeFi scans, and even the Oracle's adapters. So whatever you see today, I think we're constantly pushing a lot of updates recently. That is what Jellyfish allows us to do, because we have that strong layer, the strong native DeFi layer that powers the new capabilities, like faster release, faster DeFi scan, faster wallet. Everything is now just faster due to this new Jellyfish SDK. So a bit of run through for our developer actually. So where we are today. So we have the Ocean APIs, we have the full node APIs, we have the blockchain emulators. So we have the block SDKs, we have the wallet SDKs, we have the transaction SDKs. So all these are basically what you need to fully build the native DeFi. We use the same tools, open source, as everybody, which is, we also publish the source code. I think some of the community members actually took our source code and evolved it to their own project, which you are totally allowed to do. So that's what Jellyfish project has always been about. I think some of the developers, I think over the past few weeks, a few dozen developers have been contacting me, and I honestly feel quite bad about it, because the Jellyfish team itself, we can build everything with Jellyfish SDK, but for the community developers, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to understand, because out of all the documentation, I would say on a good day, 10% are only documented. So how do you craft a transaction? You might not know how to craft a transaction. The Jellyfish team knows how to craft a transaction, but it's not really well documented. It's well tested, but it's not well documented. We sort of lack that support ecosystem for developers, lack of samples projects for developers. Like, okay, I want to use the Ocean APIs. How do I get started? The reason we don't have that yet. So, and I want to really give a very huge shout out to the early Jellyfish adopters. The one that started with us when it was 0.10.1, 0.10, 0.12. Now we're at 0.43. So there's like 43 releases since then. And like some of them jumped in early back like 6 months ago when there was barely anything. I really shout out to the early Jellyfish adopters when there was little documentation to begin with. So starting today, I sort of crafted this Jellyfish example. So over the next few months, I was continuously working on it. So like how to use the Ocean APIs. So right now, as of today, I think I just merged this and just published it. So how I created two very simple React projects, a very simple example to fetch live DEX pool data from Ocean infrastructure, a very simple example to fetch masternode information from Ocean infrastructure. So very soon I will evolve and consolidate the whole Jellyfish project to build out like more better continuously integrated documentation. So 10%, hopefully you can target maybe a 90% documentation, and also a ton of sample apps ranging from how to build your own block explorer, or even how to build your own light wallet, or how to build cross-chain native DeFi EVM. Yeah, so ultimately we are very excited on where we're going to hit. And Jellyfish .DefiChain.com will effectively become the one-stop location for building everything on DeFi and consolidating all of our sparse projects. We spin up a lot of projects when we were trying to achieve the light wallet transition. And I think there are like 6 projects that actually powers the light wallet implementation, because all of those are greenfield projects. So within the next few months, we're consolidating, documenting, bringing up sample application, even sample application on how to build your own, like let's say MetaMask. We'll be doing that over the next few months. So I'm really excited about that. So we don't have the support infrastructure before. Now we are going to focus on creating the support infrastructure for the DefiChain developers. So that's for Jellyfish. So how about DefiScan? So DefiScan was something that was sort of released together with the DefiChain wallet. It was not planned, it was just coincidentally that, oh, we have that ready now. So why not just like start developing on that? So that itself will always become that one-stop like location for DefiChain. So where are we today and where are we going? So exciting as of today, I think over 5 major pages have been slowly migrating. So what we do today, especially on DefiChain, is on the wallet, we test out the code. We have a lot of testing. We run a lot of testing. I think you all saw the test cases. So we do a lot of automation. We have that for DefiScan, but we do it differently. Because DefiScan, there's no risk of losing your wallet balances. So we sort of, every time we have something new, we just push. Every time we have something new, we just push. So the community can look at it and react to changes before it even like matures. So like I say, we have a new block explorer. You don't really know that. So we have a new block explorer, but some of the transactions are not showing it. Yeah. So effectively, we push it out, and when it's ready, we sort of announce it. So work in progress, always in production. Very excited about like, how we're going to do the DefiScan. So ultimately, I think that falls on the question, like what actually trying to do with DefiScan? Is DefiScan an explorer? But in DefiScan is that one-stop location for like the native DeFi without it being too specialized. So your blocks, your transaction, or basically the native DeFi core that we have in the DefiChain, we will focus on building that layer. Well, like specialization, like masternode stats, masternode tracking, we're not going to do that. So like we have our community, amazing community developers that are already like building on top of it. So we just provide the stable APIs, then the communities, amazingly, they will just build everything. So DefiScan will be just that focuses on our native DeFi layer. Yeah, so that is where we are going with DefiScan. And what are we going to introducing? As I said, like immediately as soon as possible. So the DefiScan homepage, if you all haven't noticed, we actually don't have a homepage yet. So ultimately, we have that one-stop location of a scan of basically DefiScan, a scan of the entire DeFi chain, native DeFi layer, and like bring visibility in our transaction token layer, our transaction UTXO layer, bring visibility to addresses and anchors on Bitcoin, basically the interaction with accounts. So if you see on the right, those pages are sort of already in preview because we have been working on them, just that we didn't prioritize because our resources are keep getting shift around as usual because we're trying to work on the new decentralized loans, which most of the team is pretty excited about. So yeah, we actually have the page drafted up, but we haven't sort of like properly tested it. So yeah, as soon as possible. So in the short term, stocks and loan, if you all have been actively looking at the Jellyfish development, different from the past, this time around the Jellyfish team that builds the SDKs are very closely involved in the fork canning update. So it is not just actively developed by the blockchain core team, it's also actively developed by the product team. So we are sort of working hand in hand. The moment the blockchain cores have the protocols ready, the product team will have the protocols ready for light wallet implementation. So then we can simultaneously, as soon as possible, within weeks, bring it to the light wallet and even the DefiScan. So I think you all like the video that I shared about DefiScan. So I prepared another one. So where are we going with DefiScan? So same thing, polishing our native DeFi core and the DefiChain core, then providing that reliable transaction and block explorer layer, and providing the native DeFi core experiences. Yeah. So There is DefiScan. So what we're going to do. I think I'll jump on to our last one. I think most people are excited about the last one, which is DefiChain Wallet. So DefiChain Wallet. So Lite Wallet, we have Lite Wallet for iOS, we have Lite Wallet for Android, we have a full node wallet, desktop wallet, the full node desktop wallet. So what's next? Where are we going? So where are we today for Lite Wallet? So we have a DefiChain. So release on Android. I think the last show I was saying that hopefully Apple will accept our review and get the published. Surprisingly, after I say that, the next day we publish it, we get it through within one try. So I was like, oh wow, didn't expect that. So it was surprisingly quite easy for us to get through iOS and get through Android. Yeah. So, and I think in the immediate time, more and more pages are being released. I think it's easy to see that there's only a bit of pages if you're build user experiences. But the DefiChain wallet itself is not just about like doing swaps. We are supporting the up and coming loans, the up and coming ICX. So there are a lot of engineering excellency that went into it. Like dark mode was just released like immediately after light mode was released. Because with the way we build things now, it's just fast, easier to do things. Yeah. It's not, and the things that are slow are very much different from what you expect. So like even like slippage tolerance, I was like, we don't have it on full node wallet, but we implemented it immediately on the Lite wallet on release day. It's because the Jellyfish SDK has all that packed in. So everything building for native DeFi was rather easy. So I think soon, like immediate timeline, I think most people are excited what's about to come soon. So biometric authentication. So we have that actually. So I'm actively testing it. So some of the more core layers of DefiChain wallet, I actually look at them and review them. So the privacy log is actually ready. So just a few more comments that I requested for change. So they effectively are going to release multi-address single seed wallet and also like a simplified UTXO DFI auto conversion layer. So now it's a bit hard to use the UTXO and DeFi chain. When you want to do a swap, you might not have enough DFI. So we went on the easier route to push out the wallet first because auto conversion is sort of like in a way a good to have user experience. By the time if you were to push it in, it will just take too long. So why not we just release as a separate? So we're going to effectively bring that back. And of course, master node management. So master node management, I think the team has been working on that for quite a while, but the resources has always been moved into something more critical. So which is why we didn't really have it sort of ready. Because I think something that not a lot of people understand is about like building, especially building user experience. Whenever there's something that is in the 90% that everybody uses, we always jump into that because that will always matters more for the products. Like most of the users actually like using like a few key features. So we always want to focus on that 90%. Master node management, very important feature, but full node supports it. So we always have to like juggle that. So we will bring it out as soon as we can. But same for the roadmap for DefiScan. So same thing. So stocks and loan will be concurrently within weeks of Fort Canning update. So pretty excited about that. So I think sort of my last slide here. So where are we going with wallet? So DefiChain wallet. If you all have seen actively follow the DefiChain wallet, you all have seen that we actually sort of done our technical spike, and the SDK for building a desktop is ready. So now we are at the stage of just designing that advanced user experience for our power user for desktop. So on light mode, meaning you don't need to have long block syncing time, but bring like advanced features directly on our desktop. So bring the same Lite wallet, very lightning experience over to the desktop. The next thing is ICX. So I saw a comment on Telegram about like the SDK on Jellyfish are ready. Is the release on the Lite wallet ready? So I think Ian in the comments previously he brought a very good point. UX are never easy. Like especially if you talk about complexity, the harder something is technically, ICX is a very complex idea by itself. So ICX user experience is essentially hard. We look at it, we focus on it. I think most of our engineers are trying to figure out a good user experience. The automacy protocols are excellent, but it comes with great users challenges that poses to be difficult to execute on a light wallet. So we couldn't really bring out that protocol and trust that the user will understand how to actually work out their ICX. On my end, as developers, we always understand how it works. But because it's a sort of a three swap action, so a DEX swap is a one swap action. ICX is a three swap actions. So that comes with very challenging user experience risks, which is why, as part of our desktop move, the light mode plus full node experience, we will be specially creating it on the full node itself. Meaning the same light mode desktop experience, but we'll be powering that user experience on full node wallet on the desktop. So give us some time to work on that, because we want to make sure that it's effectively safe on the user's experience side before we bring it out to the power users. Yeah, so that's it for products. Do you all have any questions?
Great. Yeah, there were some questions at the very beginning regarding the API. You mentioned it. At the moment, there are APIs, the old ones, and they are not really stable. And when they are stable again, or when can we switch to the newer ones, which are, I think, linked to the ocean and not the old one? I think, Mark, you have to put in U-Zyn again.
Where's U-Zyn? I think he left us. He dropped out of the call. Let's see. Maybe his connection was disconnected. Okay. Let's.
Okay. Let me take that one then. If U-Zyn is not coming back. Okay. So the API for Jellyfish is stable. It is stable.
Okay.
So what you see there, it is stable. It is very, very well tested. U-Zyn, you're back. Yeah, you want to take that question? So there's a question on stability of API.
I think the stability is regarding.
Yeah.
So I think the stability is regarding the old API, which is not built on Jellyfish.
So you're talking about the full node APIs.
Okay.
So I think the question is relying on the full node API. So the full node API, when the Jellyfish worked on the APIs, the full node APIs is actually much more stable now that the Jellyfish engineers maintain it. So because the Jellyfish engineers, although we build our own we sort of have our own block layer, our own transaction layer, we do always piggyback that and check that our own blocks that we craft on our own layer, our own transaction that we craft on our own layer, matches the APIs that is done on the consensus layer on the C++ side. So the C++, the core team, as we call it, they run the C++ code. The Jellyfish team, we have our own JavaScript code. They have the same layer without the consensus. So we always try to do a one-to-one match. Whenever there's something that is breaking, we always try to say, inform the core team, okay, maybe we should just change is breaking, so maybe you should revert that change. So yeah, it will always be stable. Yeah.
Okay. Mark, another question from Daniel Kleiber, also at the very beginning, regarding the transaction history, which is currently not available in the Lite wallet. So not like in the desktop wallet, and some users cannot switch or don't want to switch because they don't see the history completely in the Lite wallet. Will this be fixed in the future?
Yes, so we actually already have sort of like a ticket on that. But again, I think most of the team was very excited about the loans, and I think we give a bit too much priority to loans. I think more than half of the team is actually working on the loans itself. So yeah, we actually have the APIs ready in development, in drafting, sort of ready for use, but we haven't deployed that version yet. Yeah, again we try to sort of prioritize. I think that's sort of something that is important. So yeah, definitely will be coming up soon.
A lot of the priority for the team now is it's really pushing on the loan and the stock support when we have it for Fort Canning, because we don't want to having to wait months before the UI is ready for stocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
U-Zyn, there's another question. Wait, hold on. This was the Binance question. This was not the question. But yeah,
No.
it's interesting one. We have this in every call. Yes, everybody's working on Binance. You can be sure. Also, the tech team is really heavily involved. This one, I wanted to show this one from Christopher. He said, is there a possibility to program an auto reinvest function in the wallet? For example, daily conversions of 50% of DFI rewards and reinvest in liquidity mining. Are you guys working on a feature like this?
Oh, actually, that's a very good question. If you are a developer, I'm actually working on a sample project that sort of allow you to sort of do that on our emulator blockchain. But we don't want to run any infrastructure on Light Wallet because Light Wallet itself, we don't actually run anything. So when you look at the Light Wallet, when you open up Light Wallet, it actually gets a snapshot of your balances, your tokens on our ocean infrastructure. So we sort of capture the snapshot. And when you close the app, we don't use that snapshot anymore. We just throw it away. So there isn't like a background layer to this. There's no server. There's no central authority. Nobody knows what you're doing because you're just signing a transaction and broadcasting a transaction and asking our ocean infrastructure for a snapshot. So yeah, for our developer community, we'll be sort of having a sample project about how you can sort of run a server to automatically whenever you receive a transaction and so you want to do something with the transaction. Yeah, so we will be working on that.
Okay. I have a question that's maybe not wallet related, but I think it's a really good question from Kalle. He talks about if the price feed could be stopped one day, if there's a vulnerability. And he says here, do you have a backup option for stock tokens if one or more price feeds are cut off? U-Zyn, maybe that's your specialty here.
Yeah, for stocks token, currently it's running on a serverless architecture. There's almost a direct feed from the feed provider. And also the plan is that we want to decentralize this over to other, to more like core community members to run the Oracle service as well. And eventually with EVM, I think we can bring in something like from the Ethereum side over to DefiChain side, and then we can completely centralize the whole. Like we can take on, because price feed has been available on other blockchains easily, and for us we have to build this infrastructure, and we try to make it as resilient as possible, as direct as possible. But there definitely is a possibility that it could stop for whatever reason it is. So there's some redundancy involved. That's why we use multiple feeds for that. The plan is obviously you want to get to more resilient and increase resilient and increase more operators running it as well. What we have right now is already direct feed from the feed provider on the serverless architecture directly over to the blockchain. So we hope that that's it's resilient enough, at least for now.
Cool. Fantastic. Good. Did we forget somebody, DC? Did you screen the questions?
Yes, maybe. Oh no, it's before the last one regarding atomic swap. So BTC is not really running, and people are looking for another one. Will it be possible to have atomic swap with, for example, all Bitcoin forks, Dogecoin, LTC, Bitcoin Cash?
I'm not sure the question is regarding the token for Bitcoin. If it's on the token for Bitcoin, then yes, because any token on DefiChain can be solved with Bitcoin directly. But if it's regarding Litecoin blockchain or Doge blockchain, then that is going to be really heavy, because what Fuxing has also presented just now for atomic swap to make it really secure and really resilient also on the client side, is that we're gonna run the full node wallet, the full node on the client side to make sure that it is safe. So if you're gonna have like Litecoin support and Dogecoin support, then the client's gonna be really heavy to have a Litecoin node and Dogecoin node and everything. And technically, it is possible because they all technically function the same and have smart contracts available all these blockchains. And that's also the reason why on the DefiChain side it's known as interchain exchange and not a Bitcoin exchange, because you can technically work with other UTXO blockchains. But it's the fact that these blockchains are so heavy that we want to focus largely on Bitcoin first.
Yeah, sure.
Good. Yeah, I think we are.
Maybe computer capital. The next one was if DFI price is crashing, if it is possible to have an alarm in your wallet.
DFE is never crashing, actually. I've never seen
Right.
DFE crashing. That would be my
It's
answer. It corrects slightly in heavily correlated to Bitcoin, and that's not a crash normally, yeah.
maybe I'm reformulate a little bit the question. If someone needs such a feature and could make it or program it, would it be possible to integrate it into Light Wallet? So I think it's not really needed by a developer on your side. If someone is out there, can the code adapt it and you will integrate it in the official Light Wallet? Would it be possible, such a scenario?
No, definitely. Like the development for DefiChain, it's all open source, and we're always welcoming more pull requests. I've mentioned that at the start, and again, same as well for this. So if anyone wants to add feature on Light Wallet, submit a pull request, and yeah, and have a discussion. I don't see a reason why we would not accept it if it's high level quality code.
Very good.
Okay, then Dominic, next one.
Dominic. Here we go. Will Jellyfish use SPV wallet or a full Bitcoin node?
So Jellyfish will use the full Bitcoin node with its own wallet mechanism. I think I sort of wrote it inside one of the pull requests already. So yeah, so the full node wallet will sort of sit as like the node that you interact with. Then the transaction will get crafted by the DefiChain wallet itself. Then it will just get broadcasted directly to the full node wallet. So yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. Christian asks or says, I want to buy with a limit. Is this possible? Okay, if the wallet is open. So limit orders on the DEX, I think he might be talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, that's technically not possible on a DEX right now, but you can have a monitor to see if the price goes to your level, then you can buy it.
Yeah, I think we have a community fund proposal from Wusa, who is going to build like this little monitor that you can put next to your desk or on your fridge, and you see what happens, and then you just hit the button. So it's semi-fully automated in some way then.
And also DefiChain Value with the arbitrage bot. They are also sending you. So it's not possible on a DEX. And there are other tools around to give you the information, and then you have to do it manual.
Absolutely.
I think now questions are more or less over.
Good. A lot of questions today. Thanks everybody for helping out here and bringing that great questions to the team. I think there was a lot of good stuff out there. Highly appreciated.
And I think it was also a record in the viewers. We have more than 130 on the peak level.
And we have 91 thumb up votes. So maybe we hit the 100. That would be a new record in a live show, I guess. 93 already. Come on, guys. 7 to go. We're going to do that. Yeah. Hey, guys. Awesome. DC, you've got something else, or we good for today? I'm more than
great
happy.
News. A lot of stuff to discuss afterwards. It was amazing. So I have not expected this content. It's great. Thanks for preparing it also in this way, U-Zyn and Fushin. It helped a lot. If the people can see what you are talking about, it was a really great show.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much. I think especially like the stock token trading is more or less there, and we have a great outlook on something really exciting. And I think the EVM story could really rock the boat here and really shake the crypto sphere. No, I'm super excited. I'm really looking forward to this. So nice that you shared it so long ahead that the community can react to that and not working behind closed doors. It's awesome. Thank you very much from my side. Really fantastic.
Thank you very much for having us. Yeah, like on our side, so it's a really, really early idea. We haven't even thought about it much. It's just an idea that I put it out really early with the community. Nothing is done yet. Nothing is really even planned yet. So it's just an idea. So I want to work with the community to solidify the idea even more, to see how the reception is like. And there are a lot of really smart people in the community, so I want to get the feedback from that.
Yeah, I agree. Henry said, on a good note, thanks for the great work, guys. Keep it up. I think we can all join in applauding for
Yes.
that. Yo, thanks a lot. This was Tech Talk in September, 1 week later than planned, but I think it was really worth waiting. There was so much great updates and so fantastic news. We're gonna see you next week for the DefiChain news show and then for the fireside chat. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell button. Then you're always gonna be informed if the next show is up. Otherwise, thanks for coming. Thanks everybody for joining, and have a great rest of the week. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye bye.